Hi, I'm Rose from Cheap Lazy Vegan, and on this episode of Eat Kindly with Me, I'll be making a lasagna for under $10. So guys, we're gonna be making a vegan lasagna, of course. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make a really simple, really easy, inexpensive, and delicious lasagna. So first I have the oven preheating at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we can prepare everything. The first thing I'm going to do is soak some red split lentils. So I have some red split lentils here that I'm going to soak in some hot water. So I have the hot water in here. We're just gonna throw some in, and this is just gonna help quicken the process of cooking them. So it's gonna soften them quite a bit so that when we cook them, it's very quick to cook. So we're just gonna let that soak, maybe cover it up with a dish. We're gonna use the dish that I have the tofu on, no big deal. We're just gonna cover that up, let it soak, and we can do the next step. Next step, we are just going to chop half an onion. So I have here a medium-sized onion. We're just gonna use half. We're kind of making everything from scratch, but it's actually really easy, so don't worry. You can also just use store-bought like marinara sauce for this, but I'm gonna show you guys how to make the sauce really quickly. All right, so what we're gonna do is chop up an onion, and honestly, you don't have to be very precise because we're actually going to blend this up. So I'm just gonna like roughly chop it into smaller pieces. We can like dice it however we want. Again, it doesn't have to be pretty or anything because we are just going to blend it up. We have a wok. Lovely wok, and we're just gonna heat up a little bit of oil. So you can use whatever oil you want, you guys. I'm just using some avocado oil. You can use olive oil, canola oil, whatever oil you want. We're just gonna throw in 1 tablespoon. Just heat that up. So we're just heating this up ever so gently. What am I saying? I don't know. Is it heated up? Almost. Now we can throw in the onion. And I like to let the onion cook for like a minute, and then we can throw in some garlic. Let that kind of sizzle. So next we can throw in about a tablespoon of minced garlic. Let's just get that in there. Oh, I'm gonna have garlic fingers. All right, let's just saute, saute, saute. Woo, that is spicy. I'm getting the spice in my face. At this point, we're gonna throw in a large can of tomatoes. So you can use diced tomatoes, whole tomatoes. I just have this one that's whole tomatoes. And honestly, it doesn't really make a difference. Canned tomatoes, guys, are so cheap, very cheap. Again, you can use tomato sauce. You can use a marinara sauce if you want, if you don't wanna make your own sauce. I'm just showing you this way, very simple. Let's just throw in this whole can. And don't worry, as I said, we're gonna blend this up anyways. So, woo! We got a bunch of whole tomatoes in there. So I'm just going to break this up just ever so gently. This can is around 800 milliliters, so it's a pretty large can. If you have small cans, I would use 2 at least. And one thing that I like to do when I'm making lasagna is I like to always have an extra can or extra pasta sauce just in case, because we need a lot of sauce. You know what I mean? We need a lot of sauce for lasagna. So you never want to be in a position where you run out of sauce. So I always like to have an extra little bit just in case. Okay, so we've broken up the tomatoes. Okay, so now we can add some seasonings. You can go wild. What I'm gonna do is just add some Italian seasoning. So I added in 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, which is a nice mixture of different seasonings. So we also have some black pepper. I'm just gonna add, you know, maybe a teaspoon. Oven's preheated. Even though we added minced garlic, I always like to add extra garlic. So we're doing another, I don't know, half a teaspoon. We're doing about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. So then now we can just mix this up. I like to cover this up and let it kind of simmer and cook while we prepare other ingredients. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, you guys, so now we are going to make the tofu ricotta. This tofu ricotta you will be addicted to, I promise. It's so easy. It's, I believe, 5-ish ingredients, maybe 6. So all we need is a food processor or a blender. I'm using a food processor right here. And I'm just going to add 1 block of firm or extra firm tofu. So I'm just gonna, you know, roughly break it up, throw it in. Trust me, guys, this is amazing. Thank me later. Next, we're gonna add in 1/4 cup or 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. This is a must, it is delicious, and everyone should have this in their kitchen. And that's gonna give it that really nice kind of cheesy flavor almost. Next, we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, heaping tablespoon. And next we're doing 1 tablespoon of basil. So I'm just using dry basil. Get it everywhere apparently. And then we're gonna add the juice of 1 lemon. I'm gonna use 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. The last ingredient we need is half a teaspoon of salt. And that's it, so easy. So what we need to do is just blend this up until it is nice and smooth. And you might have to scrape the sides down a little bit as you blend, but eventually it's gonna turn into a really nice kind of thick, smooth ricotta cheese consistency, and it's amazing. So that was very easy. You can give it a little taste if you want. Delicious. As you can see here, it is looking nice and smooth and thick. And trust me guys, this tastes like heaven. I've had many people try my lasagnas and I always use this tofu ricotta recipe. Now that we have the tofu ricotta ready, I put that to the side and we're gonna use this lovely food processor again. And no, you don't need to wash it out, my friends. You can just use the same one because it's all going to the same dish. What we're gonna do is take that lovely, oh my God, it smells so good, this lovely tomato stew thing we got going on here. We're gonna make it into a sauce, okay? So what we just gotta put this into this food processor. Be careful, don't burn yourself. And we're just gonna blend it up. And I like using this method because I feel like the sauce is more liquidy and it allows the lasagna to really just cook nicely, because you don't want any dry lasagna. That is not what we want. And yes, I'm spilling everywhere and that's okay. Ooh, look at this perfect amount, my friends. Is it going to go everywhere? Probably. Just pulse it a few times until it becomes kind of like sauce. So that exploded just a little bit. Little tip, maybe you want to blend it up, in 2 separate batches, but we got it blended. So all I did was pulse 3 times. It only took 3 pulses and it seems to be nice and blended. Remember those lentils that we soaked earlier? Throw it in a pan. That is a lot of lentils. So as you can see, that 1 cup of lentils turned into whatever this is. This is like a lot, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cook the lentils a little bit just to allow it to soften a little bit more. It's pretty much softened, but I'm gonna let it cook a little bit more, and then we're gonna add this lovely tomato sauce. The reason why I'm not adding the tomato sauce right now is the lentils will soak up the tomato sauce too much. I don't want that because I still want the kind of liquidiness of the sauce. So that's my kind of strategy. So let's cook the lentils up and then we can throw in the tomato sauce. All right guys, we've just cooked the lentils for, 3-4 minutes, and I think they're pretty much good. So what we wanna do is when you cook the lentils, you wanna make sure that there's still a little bit of water because that's how the lentils will cook. Now we're just gonna throw in this lovely sauce. Basically, we're making kind of like a lentil bolognese sauce. It's really delicious. Ooh! I don't know why I made that noise, okay. So there we go. So as you can see here, we have a lot of sauce, guys. We need a lot of sauce because like I said, nobody likes a dry lasagna. Nobody likes a dry lasagna. And at this point, if you want to taste it, see how it is, if you want to add a little salt, if you want to add a little pepper, go ahead. I'm going to actually give it a little taste after I mix this up. Let's taste it. It's actually quite tomatoey. You know what I'm envisioning? I'm envisioning some sugar. So I decided to add in a little bit of sugar just to kind of balance out the tomato-ness. I don't know, guys. So we're adding maybe about a teaspoon of sugar here. And then I decided to add a little bit more salt. So let's do another like half a teaspoon of salt and then we'll be good. I think we're good. Again, you can adjust things according to your own taste. If you feel like this needs more sugar, go ahead. If you think you want to add more like tomato paste or something to make it more tomatoey, you can do that as well. That is totally up to you. Now, oh my God, I think now we can assemble everything. Are we? Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this off. All right, now it is time to assemble our beautiful lasagna. So far, I would say it's been pretty easy. The first thing I like to do is, I'm not a lasagna expert, but I like to lay out a nice layer of sauce. So as you can see here, guys, it's still nice and liquidy. And again, I kind of like it like this because that way it can really cook up that lasagna properly, okay? And again, if you run out of sauce, make sure you have an extra can of tomato sauce or something because you don't want to run out of sauce. Lovely, fantastic. Now we have lasagna noodles. What I like to do is with the lasagna noodles, which are oven ready lasagna noodles, by the way. And by the way, if you don't have oven ready, all you have to do is just soak them with water while you do everything else. And then it like does the job. So you don't have to cook the noodles in advance. I never do that. Anyway, so when I add the ricotta, I like to just spread it onto the lasagna because it just makes it easier to spread. That's what I like to do. So we're gonna do a nice, generous layer of the ricotta. So it's gonna look something like this, and then we can just place it like so. We're gonna repeat the process. All right, so we have that nice layer. Now we can do another layer. And at this point, guys, if you wanna put like some spinach on there or add any other vegetables, maybe some eggplant, sweet potato, whatever you wanna add, you can add it as well, but I'm gonna keep it really simple. So we're doing another nice, generous layer of that sauce. So now we're gonna do another layer of the noodles and the cheese. And at the end here, what I like to do is just top with the noodles and then top everything with the sauce. But guys, what did I tell you? We're pretty much out of that sauce. So that's why I always like to have extra sauce available, my friend. Do keep in mind, I'm using a very large lasagna pan. If you use a smaller one, you might be fine. Anyway, let's do another layer here of the noodles. Right, let's just utilize the rest of this sauce. I mean, that was a lot of sauce. I'm actually surprised that we used it all. I just have here a nice, lovely can of tomato sauce. So we're just gonna dump some of that on there. I like it saucy, guys. Make sure it's saucy. Again, just make sure that every noodle is nice and covered. All right, guys, so now we are ready for the final touch. And what I like to do here is sometimes if I have some vegan cheese, like shredded vegan cheese, I'll add that on top. But we're keeping it budget friendly, my friends, okay? I'm going to sprinkle on some nutritional yeast. It's kind of like a nice vegan Parmesan almost. You could also put some vegan Parmesan on top. But yeah, we're just gonna sprinkle it nicely. Maybe you can even put some breadcrumbs on here. Go wild, guys. Go wild. So we've sprinkled on nutritional yeast on top. This is feeling pretty heavy, okay? This is gonna be a lot of food. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna cover this up in aluminum foil, or I don't have enough. All right, you guys, so I have a little bit of a disaster situation. Kind of ran out of aluminum foil. You know what? When there's a will, there's a way, guys. So instead of using aluminum foil, we are going to use a baking sheet to cover this up. And this is my first time trying to use the baking sheet, so let's see what happens. We just need to cover it up. So we're just gonna use that, and we are going to put this in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. It's already preheated, and we're gonna bake it for 30 minutes. And then we want to remove this and then bake it for another 10 minutes. All right, you guys, so we've baked the lasagna, we've done the 40 minutes, and now it is looking fabulous. So I do like to cool down the lasagna for about 10-15 minutes before you cut it up, and let's see how it looks. Oh God, I always get nervous when I cut lasagna because I'm not sure how it's gonna look. But remember, guys, it's not about what it looks like, it's about what it tastes like, okay? All right. The nutritional yeast has made a nice, beautiful crust. Looking beautiful. Ooh. All right, my friends, so this is your lasagna for under $10. And as you can see here, it is a lot. We have a lot of food here, and I can't wait to try this. Let's give this a little taste. I'm gonna give this a try. I'm very excited. That's a big mouthful. All right, you guys, so that is how to make a delicious vegan lasagna. It's full of protein, it is very inexpensive, and you just can't go wrong. Again, feel free to add in some more vegetables. Maybe you wanna add a layer of like tomatoes or spinach or eggplant. Do whatever you want. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it very helpful. If you did, of course, give this video a big thumbs up. Of course, guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more vegan content, and check out my channel, Cheap Lazy Vegan, if you are interested in some budget-friendly and easy vegan recipes. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye!